today we will be doing our 2017-18 Premier League table predictions. So let's begin. So the team I've picked in 20th position is Huddersfield. Now I don't know how they won that playoff final match last year. They do have some decent players like Scott Malone, Tommy Smith, Aaron Moy, who is an absolutely phenomenal player. But I just don't think they're ready for the Premier League yet. They did sign Tom Ince, which is a great signing off Derby, and obviously Scott Malone off Fulham, but no.
No? You reckon 20th
Rock bottom. Your
Well,
choice.
in 20th position, I've actually gone for Huddersfield as well.
Well
I know they had the £8 million signing of Tom Moy from Man City, and they brought in Tom Ince, which he hasn't really been proven at all, I don't think, in the Premier League. So, slight bit of a risk. He is a good player, was a good player in the Championship. Can he fulfil his potential really in the Premier League? And well, we will see. But I think they'll go down. They brought in Scott Malone, as you say, from Fulham. Great going forward. Well, good going forward, but defensively can be a little bit all over the shop. So sorry, Huddersfield fans, but I think you enjoy the season in the Premier League. So in 19th position, it's going to be a little bit of a shock to a lot of people, but I'm actually going to go for Stoke City. They got a very difficult opening to the season. They haven't brought in the best of players, and they've got rid of a whole host. I'm really surprised that they got rid of the likes of Jonathan Walters. Glenn Whelan, okay, he stepped down into the Championship to Aston Villa, where they've strengthened with him. Arnautovic as well has gone to West Ham. That's a big blow, but I think they had to get rid of him anyway, but the sounds of things. But they haven't really brought a lot in. Like Darren Fletcher, Kurt Zouma maybe is a good signing, but overall difficult opening, and the pressure will mount on Mark Hughes, and he could possibly lose his job. The first manager perhaps of the season in the Premier League to lose his job. Difficult times I can see for Stoke City this year, and I'm sorry to predict, but you're going down, Stoke.
Well, my number 19th is actually newly promoted Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, Brighton fans, the thing is, you have got some half-decent players. You've got Anthony Knockaert, the French absolute goal machine. You've got Jamie and Glenn Murray. They're just great players. You have got Shane Duffy, who
Glenn Murray's still there, is he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But you also have Shane Duffy, who had a great moment at the Cardiff City Stadium last year. Search it up on YouTube. But at the same time, you have got rid of some players. It's just, I don't think you're ready just yet. Maybe take a step down to the Championship, rebuild your squad, or rebuild your squad around January, then come back up next season. Then I reckon you'll be able to survive. My number 18th is the other team in West Wales. Now, the reason I put them there is
the only team in West Wales, isn't it?
Yes, the certain team in West Wales.
Okay.
Well, as long as you get rid of Gylfi Sigurdsson, that's all I'm going to say. And I hope he goes, because he should not be there. I genuinely hope he goes. And aside from Gylfi Sigurdsson, they don't have the squad at all. So
fair enough.
I am being biased, but I have the right to be biased against them. Who's your prediction?
Fair enough. Okay, my 18th position, well, it's another bit of a shock. I'm actually going for Newcastle. They haven't really done a lot over the summer in the transfer market as such. I'm not sure what has been going on up there on the time, but I think they're going to struggle big time. They've kept hold of Atsu, who is a very good player. Saw him numerous times last season. Very good on the ball, quick, and is a threat. They've also got the likes of Dwight Gale, proven scorer in the Premier League, and well, definitely in the Championship, but they have got rid of probably just they haven't really brought anyone of any big names in, and I think that strength that they haven't brought in, or the lack of strength, could see them going down, and Benitez even leaving his job. Maybe he'll go to a different team. So Newcastle, sorry to say, but you're in my bottom three.
So my number 17th, just narrowly missing out on relegation, is not really a surprise, Stoke City. Their means players are just Joe Allen and Peter Crouch, that's it. I reckon Mark Hughes will go around Christmas. Just hadn't signed anyone. I have nothing against the manager. He is a phenomenal manager. It's just, I reckon he has to go. He's been there for
well,
a
the
few
season
years.
hasn't started yet, and you're already saying bye-bye yet.
Yeah, I'm already saying bye-bye because he hasn't. They're going to struggle either way, and I reckon he'll go. First manager out, I reckon.
Okay.
But all I can say is just sign people in January, or sign players in the summer while you can. But it depends really. You could go down, but I'm sorry, Stoke fans.
Okay.
I don't know.
In 17th position for me, I'm going for Brighton. Brighton I think will survive by the skin of their teeth. They're geared up for the Premier League. The whole setup down there. I like Chrissy Houghton as a manager. He has brought in quite a few players, and quite a few players have gone out as well. I think they'll surprise quite a few teams. They won't set the league alight, but I think they'll hold their own in certain games, and they'll just manage to stay up. Okay, my 16th team, Burnley. Now Burnley had a bit of a torrid time at the end of last season. I think they finished 4th from bottom in the end. I think that's where they ended up. It's going to be another season of struggle as well. They have brought in Jonathan Waters, who I like, so that he's going to run his heart out for the club. Apart from that, I know they brought in Phil Barsley as well. Apart from that, there's been a lot of players going out the door. But on the whole, with the quality that is in the Premier League these days, they will struggle. Yeah. But just about manage to stave off relegation for another year.
Well, my number 16 is actually Burnley. Now, exactly the same reasons. Andre Gray, the goal machine, who was great on people's fantasy football last year, he's now gone to Watford as of today. And because I would have put Burnley higher, but because they have got rid of loads of their players, and obviously Joey Barton getting banned from football for, what was it?
I think it's been reduced now.
Yeah, it's been reduced.
So, apparently he's on the radio. He's going to have a radio show until he comes back into football. That's if he gets back into
football.
Obviously,
yeah. I reckon he'll have to retire personally, but... I would have put you higher if you would have held on to Andre Gray, but because you haven't now, I have to put you in 16th, Burnley fans. I'm sorry, but that's where you belong. My number 15 is actually Marco Silva's one and only season at Watford. Now, obviously they have signed Andre Gray, great partnership up front with Troy Deeney as long as they play the both. They've got some great players like Etienne Capoue, and Marco Silva obviously will be there for one season. I don't think they have the squad depth to go in right into the middle of the table of the Prem, but yeah, 15th Watford. Good squad.
Fair enough. Okay, well, my number 15, I've gone for Swansea City. Yeah. I think they will. I actually like their manager, Paul Clement. I think he's a decent guy and a decent manager. They haven't actually signed that many players, and if Sigurdsson does go to Everton, the rumours are, whether that's in the balance, it's been dragging on all summer, and I am getting bored of it now, then they will struggle big time. They brought in the likes of Tammy Abraham, who hasn't really proved himself at all in the Premier League. I know he scored a couple of goals in pre-season. They had a decent result against Sampdoria. I think it was 4-0. I think they will survive this year, but they will struggle. Since Clement has come in, he really has steadied the ship, and they are playing well again. So I do expect them to survive. They have brought in one really good player though from Las Palmas by the name of Roca Mesa, and I know that Las Palmas really good at home, not too good away in La Liga, but he does look a decent player himself. So Swansea, I can see you surviving yet again, 15th position. In 14th, I've gone for Watford. Watford been in the Premier League now for a number of years. They brought in the likes this year of Tom Cleverley. Of course, they've got, as you say, a really good manager in Silva who took over from Hull. He did manage to keep them in the Premier League last year, but he is a decent manager with a good track record.
He almost did as well, which was good.
Yeah, he's got a good track record. He's brought in this youngster, I think, from Fluminense on a 5-year deal, Richarlison, who looks a really good prospect. So you know, I think they'll do okay, Watford. You know, they're not going to pull up trees like many of the other sides near the bottom, but I think that with the manager, he'll keep them up.
Okay, so my number 14th is actually Newcastle United. Now they've got a fantastic manager in Rafa Benitez. They have really good squads with Dwight Gale, Voldemort. I don't know why they loaned out Matt Sells, quality keeper. And Newcastle fans, I think you have a squad that is worthy of the Premier League. So, and I reckon if you build on that in the next coming seasons, then you'll be able to maybe reach into the top half of the Prem. So, 14th Newcastle. My number 13th is Crystal Palace. Now who knows who's the manager there anymore? On changing managers every other week.
Like a revolving door.
Yeah, and they have some great players such as Jason Punchin. Now remember the mishap you had on the pitch with Southampton?
No, I don't remember.
Where he had to go in, and then they subbed him back on.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember that moment?
Yeah. So
They also have Zaha as well, who was absolutely phenomenal striker. I don't know why they got rid of Joe Ledley. That was quite bizarre what they did with him.
Well, Ledley, I don't know if his legs are going a little bit now. Free agent now, isn't he?
Yeah, free
signed
agent.
for anybody,
Yeah.
So must be looking for a club. Especially if he's not playing for a club at the moment, he's not going to really get in that Wales team against Austria in September. So he needs to find himself a club, really, doesn't he?
Crystal Palace. Reckon you have a great squad. I think you'll be able to survive.
In my 13th position, surprise package really of last year was Bournemouth. I think they're going to be slightly down this season in 13th position. They brought in Defoe from Sunderland, who will be a good acquisition. Whether he'll survive the whole of the season, but they have got Josh King up front, who was excellent last season, and they've got Callum Wilson. Where is he? I'm not sure if he's injured again at the moment, but good strike force at the moment.
Yeah.
Another good season for Bournemouth, slightly down on last year, but they'll hold their own. Okay, in 12th position, I'm going to go for Crystal Palace. Not really a lot of activity over the summer. They have brought in Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea, who does look a fairly good player there for them. On the whole, they've got a pretty good squad there. Of course, they've got the likes of Zaha, who's really comfortable. Feels at home there when he went to Man United. The likes of Cardiff, of course, he didn't really. Nothing really happened for him at those two clubs, and of course they got Benteke up front, who will score goals. So yeah, Crystal Palace, 12th.
My number 12 is actually West Brom. They have some great players such as Solomon Rondon. They have got Hal Robson-Kanu, aka the goal machine from Euro 2016.
How many did he score? 3, 2,
Well, he
3?
scored an absolute great one, didn't he?
He did.
To be honest,
Belgium,
yes. I think he can be an absolute machine if he wants to, but they have signed some great players such as Jay Rodriguez, and they got a great manager under Tony Pulis, so I don't see why they can't be 12th. So 12th West Brom. Okay, my number 11 is actually Leicester City. I didn't really know where to put Leicester with this because they have a great manager under Craig Shakespeare. He really pulled them out of trouble last year. It depends if they can really hold on to Riyad Mahrez on where they put them.
I think he'll go personally.
Yeah, I think he might go, but they do have some great players under Jamie Vardy and Kasper Schmeichel. It depends if he goes as well, but I reckon they do have the good squad depth. So Leicester 11th.
Okay, in my 11th, I've actually gone for West Bromwich Albion. They always seem to start the season off well, hold their own in the division. They're always around about mid-table, well, they have been for the past couple of years. And once they've reached their safety zone, they sort of trail away. They brought in Rodriguez from West Brom, a good signing. As you say, they got Rondon, he is a bit of a beast up front. I'd like to see him score more goals, and they got Robson-Kanu as well to come off. I think he mainly came off the bench last season, and now he can actually play up front or on the wing. So they've got a bit of versatility there. But yeah, I can see them finishing 11th really overall. 10th position, I've actually gone for Leicester. As you say, you didn't know where they were going to finish. Okay, they win the Championship one season and they're down, mid-table the next. I think they're going to finish in 10th position, as I said. It looks like that they might be losing Danny Drinkwater. I think Chelsea are after him. Who they haven't really brought in a lot of quality. They've got Iborra from Seville. Don't know much about him. They have actually brought in Anacho to take the burden off Jamie Vardy up front, which is a really good signing. I know he's young, but he does look the part. So going out though, they've held on to most of their players this year. No big, they haven't really lost that many players, but can they keep hold of Mahrez? Well, we will see.
He does want to leave, though. That's the thing.
That's the thing, and if your heart's not in a club, then more often than not, you're gone in the Premier League. So Leicester in 10th.
Okay, so my number 9th is actually West Ham. Now, I don't know whether they're still going to settle in properly to the Olympic Stadium. The pitch is a bit big for them. Like, they still haven't overly got used to it from last season. They have signed some great players such as Joe Hart, the Little P, company, and West Ham fans. I think you're going to do well this season. Great manager under Slaven Bilic. As long as they recognise that the Olympic Stadium is now their home, I reckon they'll do well this season.
Okay, in 9th position for me, I've actually gone for Southampton. They've been sort of there, just above mid-table for the past couple of seasons. They seem to be losing players every year, but each year other players step up to the mark, and they seem to survive. If they'd have kept all those players, who knows what? Maybe they could have been pushing for the top 4 even. Who they brought in this year? She brought in not a lot really, and that could be a concern with the likes of I think Rodriguez went out. Van Dijk, I don't think he's been training with them, so he looks like on the verge of moving to Liverpool. Maybe Chelsea will step in at the last minute, who knows? But I think they're slightly down on last season, so I've put them in at 9th position, Southampton.
Okay, my number 8 is actually Everton. Now, they have signed Wayne Rooney, however, they have lost Romelu Lukaku. Now, they do have a great manager under Ronald Koeman. It's just, I think Wayne Rooney's just going to slow them down. And, obviously, because they've lost Lukaku, which is what caused them to remain in the middle of the table, it's just, they do have a great goalkeeper under Scattenberg as well. It's just, I don't think they're going to do as well as they did last year without Lukaku. So that's why I've put them in 8th position.
Okay, in 8th position for me, I've gone for West Ham. Now, they have had a really good off-season this year, bringing in the likes of Zabaleta, who may be getting long in the tooth, but he has got that sort of upper Premier League experience. Joe Hart, of course, who's come in via Torino from Man City on loan for a season, is good signing. They brought in Anatovic from Stoke, brilliant player on his day. Can they get the best out of him? Can Bilic, maybe he's the manager to do that. Javier Hernandez knows all about the Premier League. They've got a good squad there as well. A little bit suspect in defence, I feel. However, they'll have a good season again, and they'll finish 8th.
Okay, and my number 7th is actually Southampton. Like you said earlier, they have players literally leaving every year because Jurgen Klopp comes along to the St Mary's Stadium, gets a sack, put loads of players in it, and then just heads off back to Anfield. Now, I don't know what's going on with Virgil van Dijk, because Liverpool obviously did do an illegal move for him. They didn't actually inform Southampton that they were making a transfer negotiation, so I don't think that Van Dijk is going to go to Liverpool because of what's gone on.
Where do you think then?
I reckon he might go to Chelsea, or Man United will swoop in for him. But he might go abroad.
Got Man United, do you feel they've got enough central defenders at the moment?
I think they might, but I also think he might go abroad, believe it or not.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he is a quality player.
He is a very good player, yeah.
But because Southampton obviously have that youth squad depth, I reckon that they'll be able to finish high enough this season and above Everton. So I reckon Southampton number 7. Okay,
for my 7th, I've actually gone for Everton. I think everybody's tipping Everton to finish around about 6th or 7th this season from what I've seen in the papers, online, etc. They've made some quality signings, the likes of Pickford in goals for 25 million from Sunderland, great signing that. Michael Keane, another shrewd signing in the centre of defence, who's going to hook up with Ashley Williams, and that will be a very good pairing there. And of course Wayne Rooney. Now, I'm not sure how the Wayne Rooney signing is going to pan out. You know, it would be great as all of his experience he's been at Everton before, obviously. Whether he'll play every week, are they trying to accommodate Wayne Rooney? That's the thing. Are they going to slow them down? Are they going to lose all the pace out their side? I don't know. They have brought a lot of players in. Koeman, I do like Koeman as a manager, and I think they'll steer them to 7th place again. I don't think they'll improve on last year. They'll remain around about the same position just because everybody above them have been
Yeah.
the amount of quality and the amount of transfers activity that's been happening in that top 6.
Okay, now my number 6, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail for this, but I put Arsenal like they did last season. Now, they have signed some players such as Lacazette. It's just they have a French snail in attack, and I don't know what's going on with Sanchez and Ozil, but I reckon they'll leave at some point. But Arsene Wenger has to go now. I'm sorry, but yeah, Arsenal 6th.
Not an Arsenal fan then. Well, in my 6th position, I've actually gone for Liverpool.
Dear.
I know, but I think Coutinho looks like he's going to go. That's going to be a bit of a blow. I'm not sure how Klopp's going to handle that. As a professional, he should just carry on. They have made a really shrewd signing in Salah. From what I've seen, he's an excellent player, brilliant at Roma, doing really well in pre-season. I think they will have a good season. Well, I think the Liverpool faithful are thinking they're going to be in top 4 again. They are going to be in the Champions League. That may take its toll. I can see them finishing outside the top 4 though, in 6th position. Players going out of the club, they haven't really lost a lot really. I know Lucas Leiva has been there a while. He's gone to Lazio. Apart from that though, it's really been fringe players going out. The big one though is Coutinho to possibly Barcelona. Some people I've been talking to, how about Paris Saint-Germain along with Neymar, but have they got any money left? Well, I've bottomless pits in Paris by the sounds of it.
Hopefully, UEFA will put FFP on them. I genuinely hope.
We'll see what happens.
Otherwise, football's in danger.
Well, football's in danger. Well, the amount of shirt sales they've had for Neymar, I think they're probably going to recoup that anyway, all that money, and they'll probably get around the financial fair play that way. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But Liverpool 6th position.
Okay, number 5 for me is actually Liverpool. Like you said, they've signed Salah and Solanke, obviously, like you said earlier. But obviously, with the Coutinho situation, it really depends if he goes to Barcelona or not, or if he leaves at all. Because they do have some great players like Lana and Firmino, but.
See, I think they need a top quality striker up there. They've got Sturridge, but
he's always injured.
Yeah, half the season he's injured. So I think Firmino, he's a good player, but is he going to get you 20, 25, probably 30 not. Goals a season? Probably
that's
not.
why I put Liverpool in 5th.
They do spread it around a lot, the goals that is, but I think they do need a top quality. And if they bring in Van Dijk, of course, then they could move up into, from my point of view, into the top 5, top 4.
Yes.
But I think they'll finish outside that top 5.
Yep.
So going on to my 5th position, I'm gonna go for Spurs for this one.
Really?
I know there's a number of factors. It's Wembley. Okay, there's this thing about that they don't get the results at Wembley. I think as the season progresses, they will improve at Wembley, etc. But every single team who's going to be Wembley, they're going to be up for it. They haven't brought anybody in. I don't think anybody that I can see who's come in. Walker, of course, has gone up to Manchester City. Trippier, who's come in, who will probably take over his berth at right back, I believe, is injured for the first couple of weeks of the season. I'm not sure what the situation is there. A lot of players, a handful of players gone out, not many of their first teamers as such. And they have got great players, but I think they rely on the likes of Dele Alli and Harry Kane a bit too much. Son comes into the side, and he is a very good. I really like Son in that Tottenham side, and Dembele is an absolute beast in midfield. However, I can see them. They start off at Newcastle, I think, this weekend. I don't think they're going to get the victory there. So overall, they're playing in Europe. I can see them. I can see them struggling slightly. They're going to be up there because the quality they have got in that first team, but I think they're going to finish just outside that top 4 this season, in 5th position.
Okay, my number 4th is going to shock quite a lot of you, but I have put Chelsea. Diego Costa obviously wants to leave and go back to Atleti, which I'm not surprised, to be honest. They haven't spent much money. They've signed Morata, obviously, but
they are definitely going to miss just the endeavour of Costa up front.
Yeah. Like they got Pedro and Hazard, some great players.
I think they're injured at the moment as well.
They are, but They've got a great, solid defence as well. It's just they don't have a strong striker. They do have Morata, but I think they're going to struggle this year. 4th Chelsea.
Okay, in 4th place for me, I've actually gone for Arsenal.
Oh dear.
Now, I know that Arsenal, they're not in the Champions League this year. They're going to be in Europa League. I can't see Wenger really taking that too seriously. I think they're really going to concentrate and go for it in the league. Maybe they haven't got, the players to come in. I think they brought in that player from Schalke, Kalashnik or something, who does look a decent player himself. Played really well at Wembley, and they brought in Lacazette as well. Whether Lacazette is going to fire the goals that are going to get them higher than 4th, I don't know, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And they got Giroud in reserve. Then you could say the likes of Welbeck. But the key, of course, to Arsenal and everybody's, again, we're all getting bored of it. They're going to keep on Aldo Sanchez. Is Earls all going to stay? I think they are going to stay. I think they would have both gone by now, unless silly money comes into them. Maybe if Coutinho does go to Barca, is that going to have a knock-on effect to Liverpool? Are they going to open up 100? They could pay for Sanchez 100 million. Who knows? Man City. There's talk of them, maybe Paris, but if he does stay, I can see Arsenal sneaking into that top 4. Going out from Arsenal, they haven't really lost, any names as such, unless of course Sanchez does go.
Yeah.
Szczesny has gone. Szczesny was already at Juventus anyway, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
I can actually see Arsenal going back into the top 4 because they've been there for many,
Yes.
well, since time began, I think. And I think they'll be back up into 4th spot this year.
Okay, 3rd for me is actually Man United. Now, obviously, they do have Jose Mourinho, who does like to park the bus a lot. But they have really spent a lot of money. They've signed Lukaku. They've got a really flawless squad like Mkhitaryan and
I like Mkhitaryan as a player, really good player.
But Man United, I reckon, you're just going to flop again. I think improvement from last year, 3rd.
Well, I really do not know who's going to finish 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So I'm just going to have to come out with it. Manchester City, I think they'll come 3rd. They have brought in some they've just got a bottomless pit of money. Really, they brought in Bernardo Silva from Monaco, Walker, of course, for 50 million. Mendy, another one from Monaco as well. Danilo, another full-back. So they've made some really good signings at the back. I think they're going to come up short again this season, and that means they're going to finish 3rd. They could finish 1st, but I just really can't decide too much, in these top 3. But I got to make a decision for this video, and I've put Man City in 3rd position.
Okay, so 2nd for me is actually Tottenham. Now, obviously, they have moved to Wembley, but throughout last season, they were practicing for that, where they extended their training pitch quite a bit, so it accommodated the Wembley size.
Okay, I didn't know.
Because obviously, White Hart Lane was the 2nd smallest pitch in the Premier League. So they have been preparing for that, and I think they have got an excellent squad. They've got Harry Kane,
Absolute goal
Eriksen,
machine.
Wanyama, Son, Dele Alli, Lloris, I think.
And they don't concede many goals.
Yeah, they don't
I think they
concede
will.
many.
I think they'll finish a bit lower this season.
I reckon that they have prepared for Wembley, which is the main thing. They have got a great squad, so 2nd Spurs. Sorry that you didn't get the title.
Okay, moving on to my 2nd position. Runners-up, of course, for the Premier League, and I have actually gone for Chelsea. I was in a huge dilemma with this. I thought a few weeks ago I was going to pick Chelsea as champions, but because they've lost the likes of Matic and Costa, and I get this feeling of unrest slightly at Chelsea as well. However, when the season starts, they should get 3 points on Saturday against Burnley, and then from that I think they're going to gain confidence. Could we see Morata scoring? Possibly. You've got the likes of Hazard out at the moment, and Pedro, I believe, is injured as well. But Chelsea, they're a machine, and I can see them finishing runners-up. I don't think they'll reach, I don't think they'll become champions again this season, but they'll just miss out, which, is still an excellent position to finish in 2nd. They've got Champions League, of course, this year. but it's second for me.
Well, I know loads of you aren't going to be happy about this, but first I put Man City. Now, they, like you said, they have a bottomless pit of money like Paris Saint-Germain. They have made some great signings like Kyle Walker, but they do have the squad depth, that's the main thing. And Pep Guardiola, absolutely phenomenal manager. I reckon, obviously they got David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and they've got Sergio Aguero, of course. And believe it or not, I reckon that Pep can guide them to the Premier League title.
Okay, so that leaves me with the only team remaining, which is Manchester United. I'm not 100% confident that they are actually going to finish up as champions, because they'll have the likes of Chelsea and Man City, especially breathing down their necks. They've made some really good signings. Lukaku, he's just going to, he is a beast up front. I'm watching him pre-season. Defenders just they can't get near him. He just uses his strength, and they're just falling off him all the time. Matic in the middle, brilliant signing. Of course, they did have Mourinho did have him at Chelsea. Brilliant signing in the middle of the park. And they've still got the likes of Martial, who hopefully, he's going to have I think he's going to have a big season this season. Valencia, I really like it at the wing back position as well. They've also got Rooney, of course, has gone, which I see as a positive for Manchester United. Okay, they are in Europe via the Europa League, because they won that, of course, so they are going to be in Champions League as well. But I think with Mourinho there, the players that he's brought in, they're very difficult to score again. Don't underestimate. They're not going to concede a number of goals. They probably win a lot of matches 1-0, 2-0 this season. And Manchester United are my champions, I'm afraid.
Mourinho, I reckon, is going to have a clear out, because players such as Phil Jones, he's going to probably take his facial expressions over to West Brom. So, Mourinho will probably have a clear out, like they have got rid of some other players as well. So lots of youngsters got left the club as well. So
a lot of them gone out on loan, though, haven't they?
Because Mourinho isn't obviously fond with playing youngsters. He tends to put full strength and middle-aged men.
Middle-aged? What 50-year-olds playing them?
Football middle-aged men then.
Right, okay.
Okay. So now, as a summary, we're going to read out our 20th from bottom to first place. So I'm going to start off first. 20th, Huddersfield, Brighton, the other team in West Wales, Stoke, Burnley, Watford, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Leicester, Bournemouth, West Ham, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, and obviously Man City are the champions.
Okay, my 20th, starting from 20th position, we've got Huddersfield, 19th Stoke, Newcastle, Brighton, Burnley. We've got Swansea, Watford, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Everton, Liverpool, Spurs just missing out in 5th, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and then champions. I can see Manchester United just doing it this year.
Now, obviously, we are going to do a video next year, back in May, after the season is over, comparing what we've predicted. So
see how badly we've done.
See how badly we've done. Same with the. So I've been Shmurray today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.